Probably kept you waiting long enough. I think it's about time we banged on. Folks and Fogettes, I'm delighted to present you with my first ever Generations Voyager. It's Fall of Cybertron Blaster. Look out and shout. Now, predictably, I was a bit skeptical when I heard that Blaster was just going to be a reworking of Soundwave, because that worked out so well last time. But I'm pleased to report they've actually done a ruddy bloody good job. Yes, indeed, this family-sized auto hunk is the slightly less sleazy of the two Soundwave repaints, being as he's more than just a straight-up but still technically canon repaint. Not only does Blaster treat it in this bombastically radiant red colour scheme, he also comes with a total of 2 new parts! Front and centre then, he's got the iconic yellow tape deck chest plate thing with the diagonal window that's all blue and see-through. This Autobot symbol here, I must confess, is actually a repro label. I don't think I'd have been totally happy with the boring silver insignia he comes with. This bit of extra definition just sort of makes it pop. Also, I'm grateful they didn't give him Soundwave's belly teeth. Would have been a bit inappropriately savage for Blaster's slickness. Same deal with the head, he wouldn't have looked any good with the spiky mouthplate style, so this new noggin's totally welcome. Check it out with the dome helmet and the antenna ears. And the awesome face that would be generic if it wasn't so perfectly Blaster. Light piping's mesmerizingly blue as well, and when correctly lit, he even provides his own Instagram filter. So let's get into some robo bits. As we mentioned, the torso's awesome. Awesome? Just a big, hefty future cube holding it all together. Arms are impressively posable and somehow managed to avoid being gangly, despite being incredibly long and abundantly jointed. And I don't even mind him being topped off by what's undeniably Soundwave's shoulders. Curiously, his left hand's got a sculpted trigger finger. How often do you see that? And why the left hand, I wonder? Guns ace too, it perfectly evokes the G1 rifle and looks bad as anything. Can't say I'm crazy about the beige leggings though. I mean, I know it's the right colour, but it's kind of a horrible one. Just looks a little bit prototypey. It's not a deal breaker though, and I don't even mind his awkwardly skinny thighs. I mean, his feet and calves are so massively muscular that his skinny, slender hips sort of streamline his figure a bit. Is the gayest sentence ever. Anyway, the main gimmick on display here is the curious and terrifying Chest Bro launcher, which awkwardly and distressingly shoves a weird plastic Oreo out of his chest cavity. Which, you know, I'm glad that the toy can do it, but it's definitely going to break one day. So let's get into the little bro team. Yes, indeed, these fellas are an awesome little posse. They all sort of violently automorph out of the disc shape into these basically finished robot modes. Rocking the lemon flavour then is Blaster's packmate Steeljaw. He's pretty much a nice guy Ravage, and unfortunately definitely the weakest of the group. Bot mode's just Slim City, and the disc barely holds together, so it's a shame that he's the only one you automatically get. I mean, out of the 5 of them, there's no way I'd open with this one. Although I just have. Next up, you got your obligatory 2-dude double team of Rewind and Eject. These guys are physically a bit awkward, but they're wonderfully detailed and charming as all hell. Not gonna spark a pan fandom debate if I get their names right, am I? This little blood red rhino here is Ramhorn, who's by far the most uncomplicated one. He's neat and he's adorable, and I really like him, but he's still pretty much a disc. And finally got Sunder, who's a tasty Fanta-flavoured laserbeak plucked from the murky depths of Kiss players, and he's a proper treat. I love his massive tectonic wings here, but in the package they're for some reason very awkwardly pulled all the way back, so you have to snap them forward, which is a deeply terrifying experience, but not an unrewarding one. Yeah, this lot are all actually quite neat. It's surprising the amount of variety the designers have managed to eke out of an alt mode that's essentially a shape, especially considering how wrong that can potentially go. I do wonder about the pricing though. I mean, Steeljaw comes with Blaster, so he's essentially an accessory, and then for the 2 packs that the other guys come in, it's the same price as a deluxe. I mean, WT frig is that about? But seriously, can we have Scrounge next, please? Anyway, Blaster's robot mode is a reet banger, and the tape team are on the whole very acceptable, but they're all totally overshadowed by the magnificence of Blaster's bio.
From hundreds of worlds, he's gathered the loudest, fastest, most brutal, ear-splitting, guitar-shredding rock and roll he could find. When you charge in a battle alongside Autobot Blaster, you're accompanied by a thunderous soundtrack of which the mightiest Viking would approve!
How great is that? How often do I read a bio out? And why do we assume that Vikings would have been way into metal? Transformation's good fun, not overly complex for a Voyager, and it all squishes down efficiently into this furious little rage pack. Now obviously the G1 purist in me was unsure of this blasphemous non-boombox alt mode at first. It's like, does this really suit Blaster? But then you think about the kind of guy he is, and it's like, of course it works. I could totally imagine this Tuskmobile charging into battle, blasting Slayer. This is a properly cool cybercar, and unsurprisingly it works a ton better in Voyager scale than it did with War for Cybertron Soundwave's busy little bumperclart. Check it out, it's all business. It's just teeth, gun, wheels and weight. It does look a bit odd with all the red up front and the bum end all naked and brown, but there's like zero kibble, and I just love the gaudy golden wheels and the sarcastically tiny seat that's way too small for anyone to ever sit in. I kind of like that Blaster's not just a stereo anymore. It means you can join in with the rest of the dude's adventures on equal terms instead of having to stay at home or be carted around, but it is comforting to know that you can just about sort of approximate an almost boombox. Yeah, that totally counts. Triple changer. You're welcome. Wrapping up then, I'm delighted to inform you that I'm very much in love with my Fall of Cybertron Blaster, and we're getting married. Seriously, he's a massively above average Voyager, and I kind of love how tall he is. I mean, G1 Blaster was always inexplicably titanic, so it's kind of nice to have the two stereo dudes almost in scale. It also shows up just how measly and undersized a lot of the FOC deluxes have been, but first and foremost, it makes me do a grin. Big thanks finally to Will and Ryan for sourcing these things for me. Bye!